Hello there. Welcome back. This is the continuation of my live coding session from yesterday. I'm just gonna take a few minutes here to prepare stuff. I'm not gonna just dive in directly. I just came back from the office, and I'm a little bit tired and under the weather. But you know, I thought it's Friday evening here at least. I was gonna go work on this code, work on this website anyway, so why not continue the stream from yesterday? Let me just go to Twitter here and share the link to the stream. Okay, I think so far no one's watching. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes for people to join, and then I'm gonna dive back into my website here where I want to. Yeah, yesterday what I did, I implemented a client that consumes a WordPress API to get all of the blog posts from my old WordPress blog. To then post-process them and display them on my website. And today I wanted to optimize that and build further on that, make it a little more dynamic and flexible. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, today I'm going to, like I said, optimize the blog on my website that I built yesterday. Let me just open it up here. It's so far really, really simple. We haven't done that much yesterday. So really this is just a basic ASP.NET MVC template. And what I did yesterday, I created this blog site here, and this blog post here is actually the latest blog post from my WordPress. And yes, I say the latest, even though it's 2017. Yes, it's been quite some time since I've been active on WordPress. I plan on changing that, but yeah, it's been 3 years now, but yeah. And the point here is that this website here, this blog here, is supposed to sort of centralize all sort of blog posts from different sources. So far there's only WordPress, but there's probably going to be other sources later on. For example, I'm probably going to implement like a blog, a local database where I can just create blog posts so that I don't have to rely on WordPress. But I don't know. It's just I'm just playing around here. So yeah. So far, what we did yesterday, yeah, we consumed the WordPress API, and it's only displaying a single blog post. What I want to do today is I want to write some JavaScript so that it asynchronously loads new blog posts when you scroll down, so like an infinite scroll sort of feature. So right now it's pretty static, so that's not really interesting. So today we're going to optimize that. And maybe I'm even gonna start with the database, because another thing I want to do is I want to basically have like a centralized point where I can write about different projects that I have going on. So there's going to be another tab here, projects, and I'm going to think about some sort of design where I basically generalize all sorts of projects. So maybe a game dev project and maybe a web application project and stuff. And I want to sort of centralize that data so that I can basically list all of my current projects or even projects from the past here on the website, and people can look them up, search through them, sort of as a reference. And yeah, I want to like categorize them, make it possible to search for projects and stuff. It's not that I have like 100 different projects going on, but I want to have some point of reference where I can just, you know, yeah, basically have like some sort of resume, if you will, with all of my current and past projects. And yeah, but I think we're gonna have to wait a couple more minutes for some people to join. We can also just dig in like, I don't know, let's give it like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm a little under the weather tonight because I just came back from the office, and yeah, I didn't get too much sleep yesterday because the stream was I didn't expect the stream to last that long, but you know, it happens. So while we're waiting here, maybe let's already plan out some stuff. I want to keep this really simple. Obviously, I haven't worked on the design to any extent. You know, this is just basic Bootstrap, as simple as it can be. Really ugly. I'm obviously going to work on that. I'm not very good at designing websites, like make them look good. As I mentioned yesterday already, I don't really enjoy HTML and CSS, and to an extent JavaScript. But you know, that's part of the experience, I guess. Also, what I wanted to do is I already have like a source link in every blog post down here, where you can go to the to the original source on WordPress. And I want to have like, I don't know, maybe up here or down here have like an icon. Oh, hey there. Have like an icon of the website where the post is originally from. And earlier today, I actually looked into the Twitter REST API for developers because I thought about even mixing in some tweets here and sort of uniformly render them as if they were blog posts. Like short little blog posts. Obviously, Twitter posts are quite short. That's the whole purpose of them. But I wanted to like sort of list them here as if they were blog posts. But the Twitter REST API, you actually have to apply for a developer account on Twitter, and you have to state what purpose, like what do you plan on using the API for and stuff like that. And they specifically tell you that there's an explicit guideline on how you are allowed to embed tweets. They have to have a certain format. They have to be recognizable as a tweet. Like it has to look like it's a Twitter asset, basically. So, and I didn't really like that because what's the point? I wanted to have it like a uniform block. So so that's not gonna happen. But there may be other sources where I pull the blog posts from in the future. Like I said, like a local database. For now, it's only WordPress, but I'll work on that. So yeah. I think I can already get started. I mean, maybe people will join in later. And if not, that's cool as well. I just want to have some fun here and hang out. So yeah, let's take some time to orient myself here. Yeah, here's the view of the blog site. And currently it's just basically a view model of the blog, and the data is then rendered here. But yeah, like I said, this is too static. I want to have like an infinite scroll feature. So when you go on the site, on the website here, and open up the blog, you can just infinitely scroll down. It will just load all of the content dynamically. That's what I want to work on here. So we're going to need some JavaScript for that. Let me just give me a second here. Yeah, so first of all, we need an operation in our block controller for actually just retrieving the blog post. Currently, there's just this index operation, this action, where it just retrieves a single blog post. And the original idea here was that I have some sort of pagination, so that on the view you just click next or older blog post and then get the next one. But yeah, that's not very dynamic and very tedious, I guess. So I'm going to change that. So instead, we're going to have like a method here that just returns the blog posts in JSON format. Like let's see. Let's say get blog posts and basically have to pass an offset, I guess. Or maybe let's say page index. And then we can just use the blog post service that we wrote yesterday. Basically, I can just copy this here. And instead of just retrieving a single blog post, I'm going to retrieve like 3 to 5 blog posts at a time, preload them basically, render them, and as soon as the user scrolls down to the very bottom of the page, load the next 3 or 5. So let's go up here and maybe create a constant. Let's say post buffer size equals 3. Oops. Post buffer size, there we go. And the second argument here was the page index. I'm not actually sure if we can use it like that. It's basically I just did it very close to the REST API from WordPress. Hold on. I think I still got it open here. So this is a description of the API that we're using here. And I think I got the complete working URI right here. Yeah. So if we send a GET request to this endpoint here, we get all of my blog posts from WordPress. And now we have to kind of, yeah, like I said, only fetch 3 at a time. So let's go back here. I have to look up what the page index exactly does. I mean, there's a page index and there's also an offset, but they're not the same. They do different stuff here. Let's see. Page returns the nth in one indexed page of posts, takes precedence over the offset parameter. So I guess page is just, if for example I were to pass 2 as the page, and for the number of posts I pass 3, it would give me posts number 4, 5, and 6. That's what I take out of this. So let's just pass the page index here. And then where is it? There. So this is going to give me an IEnumerable of blog posts, and I'm just simply going to serialize them. to JSON, I think I can just use the JSON method. Yeah, so we can no longer basically use this view model. It does no longer make sense if we use JavaScript instead. I'm gonna create a new one, a new class here. Basically, I'm gonna name this blog post DTO, because it's just a data transfer object that I want to serialize into JSON and pass back to the caller, so that then the content can be displayed dynamically. What was it? I can actually just copy this. I'm probably going to completely refactor this class here, so I'm probably gonna have to remove the properties here. Title. And you know what? I don't need an ID. Oops. But I do need the publish date. And I think that's it. So let's go back into the blog controller here. And I'm going to, first of all, say, let's say blog post DTO. Equals blog post select oops, there we go. Oh yeah. There. And then I'm gonna initialize all of these properties here. Oh, B. HTML. Wait, no, that's not the same. There we go, and then I'm going to serialize that into JSON. Like this, there we go. And now, let's try this out. First of all, I guess I can leave this here, because the first time the user opens up the website, obviously one of the blog posts should already be loaded, so I guess I can leave it like this. But let's go back into the view. And we're going to need some JavaScript here. It's quite unfortunate that I can't just use Razor Page, but it has to be dynamic. So what we're going to need is let's think. I guess we need to store the current page index somewhere. And let's see. I need to make an asynchronous, like an Ajax call to this endpoint here in the controller. But how am I going to handle that? Well, actually, I think I can remove. Let's go back here into the controller. I think I can completely remove this because I'm just going to call the I'm just going to call this get blog post method from JavaScript initially when the user first enters the website, so I don't really need this anymore. Let's see. Ajax, and I haven't done this in a while, so I gotta pass the. Actually, I think I can just use this utility. Whoops. Blog posts. Generates a URL with an absolute path for an action method, which contains the specified action name. Yes, that's what I want. What's the second parameter here? It's been a while. Wait, hold on. Settings, blah, blah, blah. Let me just open up the documentation. Jquery Ajax. So the first parameter obviously is the URL. And I think I can just go, yeah. But shouldn't this function then have some parameters for the data? Wait, I completely forgot. Jquery Ajax. All right, I need to pass a JSON. Yeah, okay. I need to pass a JSON object here like this. And it has some properties, URL. And here I can just get the action URL, get blog posts. I think that's what it was called. Yes. There. I also need to pass the page index. Why is IntelliSense acting up like this? It just keeps closing for some reason. Wait, I'm just gonna go. Oh, where is it? Here. I think I can just simply, where is it here? Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, I guess I can just use query strings, query parameters. Like this just returns the absolute path to the action. So basically, this entire thing here is a string. So I can go. Basically, I would have to, since I want to embed this in JavaScript here, this would be resolved into just a string. So I'm going to enclose this in quotes, single quotes, and then I'm gonna say page index equals plus page index. I think this should work. And then success. To the success property, I can pass a function, which then I think can take the data. I have to look up the documentation here again. Yeah, I think it just gets the data here. And now this result should actually be the serialized collection of blog posts. So I would have to parse that back into a JSON object, unless they're already deserialized. I'm not sure. I guess we would have to debug this. Let's say posts. I'm just gonna put a breakpoint here. And first of all, let's go here into the block controller. And then I'm gonna comment out all of this and just return the view without a model. Well, I guess I can just create an empty blog post view model for now. Yeah, I know how to show the overloads, but for some reason, I think it's because I'm doing it on a separate monitor that is actually, thing is, my main monitor uses the internal graphics card, and the other monitor is using the NVIDIA graphics card. And for some reason, sometimes it glitches out. So every time I use IntelliSense here, okay, bad example here, I don't know, sometimes just glitches out and just closes the window all of a sudden. So I don't know why it does that. So yeah, bear with me tonight here. I'm really under the weather. I'm really tired from yesterday. Hold on. Also, I haven't thought this through at all. So let's see. Oh, and by the way, hi Jakub. Thanks for joining in. Why did I just remove that? So let's go back into the controller. For now, I'm going to pass an empty view model. That's fine. And let's just, for testing purposes here, immediately after the document is ready, just call load blog posts. I'm going to put a breakpoint here as well. And just for good measure, I'm also going to put a breakpoint here. Let's just test this. Usually I avoid using too much JavaScript because I'm just not a big fan. I prefer TypeScript, which is basically .NETified JavaScript. Okay, so it did hit the breakpoint, but for some reason the line is a little off. Why did it stop here? What's going on? Okay, that's weird. Just happened. No. Why does it stop here instead of up there? What's wrong with that? Oh, do I? Hold on. I think it's just, no. Press F12. And yeah, there's something wrong here. Uncaught syntax, missing parentheses. So there's something wrong here. Oh yeah, obviously. Whoops. There. But it's still off. Why? Why does it do that? It does actually call the method here, and it does pass the right page index, so it does work. So I'm not stupid. But why are the lines off in the debugger? Like, why doesn't it break where it's supposed to break? It's really weird. Let's see the DTOs. So we got 3 DTOs here. That's exactly what we want. And let's have a look. Yeah, that's the right title. Then that's the next one. Yeah. Okay, so the data is correct. And actually the method is correctly called asynchronously. So that's fine. But for some reason the breakpoints don't work properly, and that's really weird and annoying. And there's something wrong. Uncaught syntax error, unexpected token in JSON. Okay, so the serialized JSON for some reason has a syntax error in it. What the hell? Let me try something here. I'm going to actually put that into a local variable here. Whoops, and then return it. So that I can inspect the actual JSON. But why wouldn't it be able to properly serialize it? I don't get it. There we go. Result. Content type null, serializer settings null, status code null. What? Oh, I guess I need to pass serializer settings. When using system text JSON, this should be an instance of system text JSON serializer options. Okay. There we go. And I guess it has a default constructor, so I'm just going to have to do this. What's wrong? Yeah, so something's wrong with IntelliSense here. So it's only on this monitor. Whenever I have it on this monitor, usually you just hold down Control and press space, and IntelliSense shows up. And sometimes it just doesn't respond. Converters. Let me just look up the documentation here again. I thought actually I don't need to pass anything other than the object to serialize. JSON result MVC. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. I don't think I actually need those options here. I can just use the default behavior. So what's going on? Let me just look up the Microsoft documentation here. What? Yeah, I can just pass anything there. It even works with an anonymous object, so Why doesn't it work? It's not like I'm doing this for the first time. It's not, you know, it's just you call the JSON method and pass whatever object and it gets serialized and that's it. It's not much to it. Huh. Let me just test something. Oh, hold on. Oops. Let's just pass something here like an anonymous object. Some prop. Hello. Some other prop. 47. So let's check if it actually serializes this anonymous object. If not, then I'm really confused what's going on. Yeah. Wait, no, it's just, it doesn't serialize anything. Oh, I guess it doesn't actually, okay, yeah. It doesn't actually serialize anything here. It's just basically an indicator to the pipeline that what is returned to the client will be serialized. I don't think it actually gets serialized here already, so it's actually perfectly fine. Okay, in that case we can just return it directly. But still, that doesn't explain why there's an error in the JavaScript. I guess it may already be deserialized. Hold on, let me just... Okay, fire. Okay. Why doesn't it really trigger the breakpoints? Like, I don't get it. Okay, hold on, what did it say? This breakpoint will not currently be hit. No executable code of the debugger's target code type is associated with this line. Well, in that case, let's just log that in the console. Press F12, console, and it's an array, and there we are. Okay, so I'm not crazy. It's just, why doesn't it hit the breakpoint? I don't get it. If someone knows, please explain. Why doesn't it hit the breakpoint in JavaScript? It doesn't make sense. But yeah, obviously it's already deserialized into actual JSON objects. I thought it was retrieved as just a JSON string and I would have to parse it, but apparently not. So that's even better. So that means I can then simply create a new HTML element like this. Maybe yeah, what I can do here, I'm going to remove this, this, oh, right. What was it again? There. So I'm just gonna declare a multi-line string here as like a template for the HTML that I want to append. And then I'm going to go here and say title. I'm going to say title. Date. Source URL. Source. And then I'm just going to replace these placeholders. Each there. I'm going to iterate over all of the posts, and for each of them I'm going to append the HTML here to the block container. So I'm going to say block container append and then I will use the template. Oops. Template replace title and replace that with the title of the post. And do that for all of the other properties. Obviously, I still have to format the date correctly, but for now, I'm just going to keep it as it is. And now I forgot what the property was actually called. Let's go into the DTO. Publish date. Title, publish date, HTML content, source URL. Yep. And the source. And I think this should already work. It's declared but is never used. That's not true. It's used right here. Oh, that's why. And I think this should already work, but I'm still going to actually post it to the console as well, just to check in case there's still a bug that I can check what the actual maybe if the property names are actually wrong or for some reason. I just want to double check. Undefined, 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 undefined. Okay, but it's at least showing up 3 cards, right? So it's progress. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is why I did the console log. Here, when it is serialized, they actually decapitalize it so that it's more conform to the JavaScript notation. And that's the reason why it says undefined. So now it should work. And there we go. And now I should have 3 blog posts here actually. Yes, there's the second one. And I actually want to have some space here between the different posts. But for now that's okay. Yeah, so now it's working, great. Now we need to make it so that the moment I scroll down here to the very bottom, it's supposed to, let me just check if the source still works. Yes, it does, I think. Yes, it does. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I need to make it so that when I scroll to the very bottom here, that it automatically loads the next 3 posts. So let's do that. And actually, I can make this a constant. There. Sorry for, having a little bit of trouble with the JavaScript here, but I'm not really a JavaScript developer. I don't use it that often. I kind of even try to avoid it and leave it to the experts, but yeah. It's really just I guess it's just I have to get used to it again. I haven't used it in a while, so. So let's see. So how can we determine if the user has scrolled down to the very bottom? I think the window here actually has a property. Scroll something. Yeah, scroll Y. And it would be great if IntelliSense actually had to say something about it, but obviously not. Let me just look it up. Okay, there's also a page Y offset property, apparently. Let me just. Oops. JavaScript window. Was it page Y offset? The page X offset return the pixels. The current document has been scrolled from the upper left corner of the window. Okay. Oops, where's my YouTube tab here in Chrome? There. Let's see. Yeah, I don't need that anymore, and I don't need that either. Equal. Oh, so it's the exact same thing as the scroll X and scroll Y properties. Okay. Oh, why didn't you tell me that the welcome message is still on screen? I have to remove that. It was covering like a third of the screen. It should be gone now. No, it was actually just supposed to be there at the very beginning of the stream. I didn't actually mean to have it displayed the entire time. But yeah, I hope it wasn't that big a deal. So yeah. So I can get the scroll position, obviously. So that means I can calculate if I have the size of the window. Or I could get the height of the window and the scroll position. And then I could. Wait, isn't that a jQuery? Hold on, let me Google something here. I think there is a jQuery method for just simply checking if a certain element is within the viewport. jQuery is in viewport. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that I think there is. Hi Kiwi. I think there is some function in jQuery for checking if a certain HTML element is currently visible in the viewport, and I could just use a div at the very bottom of the screen, and the moment the this div is in the viewport, I just call the load blog post method. And since they are then appended to the container, they will push down the div. So the user would have to scroll down again to make the div visible or put it back in the viewport, and then I can reload the next blog post. What programming languages do you know? Actually, quite a lot. My main programming language that I use the most is C#, but I also know Java, C++, PHP, Objective-C, what else? TypeScript. What else? Well, well, I do know JavaScript, but I try to avoid it here, as you can see. Yeah. What else? Did I forget something? No, that's mainly it. C#, Java, C++, PHP, TypeScript, JavaScript, Objective-C. Let's see. Jquery. I only know a bit of Python. Oh yeah, Python. I forgot about Python. Yeah, I only know. I also know some Python. I don't use it a lot, but I do know. But I do know some Python. And I also, back in the day when it was still a thing, I also did quite a lot with ActionScript back when Flash Player was a thing. I coded a lot of Flash games, but back in the day, like, it's pretty much obsolete these days. But yeah, a couple years ago when it was still a thing, I did create some Flash games and Flash-based websites and all of that. Yeah, but what I want to do here, I think there is, I just forgot. I think there's a jQuery method for just checking if something is in a viewport. Well, if not, then how can we just determine this? I mean, we can get the scroll Y property from the window, and we can get the height of the window. And we can get the height of the body element. So if we take the height of the body element and then subtract the scroll Y property, that should give us the distance. Does it? I think so. Hold on. I got an idea. First of all, we're going to I think we can attach an event listener to the scroll event. Would you mind to teach me some more stuff in some languages? What specifically? What do you want to know? Hold on. What was I gonna? Yeah. jQuery scroll event. Okay, it's just jQuery scroll I guess I can just go body scroll, yeah. then here pass a callback function. So whenever the user scrolls, this callback function will be called, and then I can check the distance. Let's say body height. Hey, why is there no? Hold on. Jquery get height. Yeah, this should be right. I don't know why IntelliSense doesn't pick it up, but this should be correct. Hurts every time you say jQuery. Okay, so you're not a fan? So this should give me the distance to the bottom of the screen, I guess. Let me just check that here. For some reason, the breakpoints don't work properly. I have no idea why. So I'm just gonna output it to the console. Oh, whoops. So I take it you're not a big fan of jQuery, if it hurts you every time I say the word. Issues detected. What the? Okay, the scroll event is not firing. Why? Scroll. Bind an event handler to the scroll JavaScript event. So, what's the problem? I got some window here open that I'm looking for. Well, I think the alternative would be to just use the regular DOM event. So basically, like this. Okay, now it's not doing anything. Syntax. Yeah, that doesn't belong there. There we go. Still doesn't hit the breakpoint, but it does give me some distance here. As you can see, it gets lower and lower the more I go to the bottom. And I think as soon as I reach the bottom, it should be 0, or at least very close to 0. But why is it 634 in particular? Like, why? How does it come up with that value? Is it the smaller the window? Let's try something here. Let's add the inner height of the window. I think that's the problem here. Let's go open up the console. Scroll all the way down. Yeah, so now it's even negative. But that's not a problem. So if we go all the way down here, it's minus 60, but that's not really a problem. So as soon as it is a 0 or negative, then we want to load the next blog posts. So let's go here and say if distance less than or equal to 0, load blog posts. And actually what I'm going to do is here pass the page index. Let's just call it index. Like this. So we initialize it with 0. Then the first time we call it, we actually increment it first, and then we increment it every time we call the load blog post method here. This should work, right? Let's see. I hope it does. Then we finally got this over with and we can move on to something that is more fun. So if I'm not mistaken, what's this? Why is it? Well, never mind. If I'm not mistaken, if it's working now, that would mean that as soon as I go all the way down, the scroll bar should actually pop back up. Yes, it does. It's actually working, I think. Yes, perfect. Great. Yes, that's actually a way old picture of me and Charles Martinet, the voice actor of Super Mario. I met him at an event at Nintendo headquarters in Germany. Fun times. So yeah, it seems to be working. I don't know what's going on here all of a sudden. Why it's actually overflowing here. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of weird. Oh yeah, this is the embedded code here, and I guess it does actually overflow, so it makes sense. So yeah, seems to be working. So now that I'm down here, I guess it will still call the method for loading new posts, but it will simply return nothing. So that means, actually there's one thing I want to optimize here. So while it is loading, I want to, I don't want it to try and load blog posts while it is still loading other blog posts. So only if it's not loading, load blog posts. Well, actually, let's make it even simpler. Let's go into the load blog post function here and say if is loading, return. And then here, say is loading equals true. And as soon as we get back the posts here, we simply say is loading false. And I think this should even, yeah, optimize it a little more so that we don't send out requests constantly. There we go. First 3 posts should have been loaded now. I scroll down. And it keeps Yeah, it keeps loading. Great. But I think I should actually start loading them a little earlier. So here, instead of comparing to 0, I should probably be like, I don't know, 200 or something. So let's say const loading distance 200. Here's a loading distance. Okay, so that's taken care of. I feel like today's coding session was not quite as successful as yesterday's, but that's mostly because it was just basically completely JavaScript today. And also, it's been a rough work day today, and I didn't get too much sleep last night. Okay, why is it not loading? Why is it not loading? And why does it say output, 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 output? Yeah, I think, yeah, I know why. It's because of this boolean here that I'm blocking it. So basically, I would have to hold on. Yeah. So the scroll event obviously is called whenever I scroll, be it up or down. So if I scroll all the way down and it starts loading the new blog posts, and then I scroll down immediately again to the very bottom, but it's still loading, then yeah, it would still be loading and simply return nothing here. And in that case, I would have to scroll back up and then back down to trigger the event again so that this condition is true. So let me just check again here. But worst case scenario, I just remove the is loading boolean there, and that's it. Okay, so because I scrolled down too fast now, I would have to scroll back up and then down again, and then it should be loading again. Or maybe not. Okay, so it does load, but there's nothing there. For some reason, they're not in the correct order. But why is that? And I think it only happens if I scroll too fast. Let's open up the console here so that I can see when it's loading. There. Huh? Okay, let's actually comment this out for now. Okay, slowest coding stream ever. Yesterday was far more productive. What's this with the cookie? Yeah, now it just loads all of them. Because I need to block. It just doesn't make sense. So let's check the order here. Okay, so this one is newer than this one. And so they're in the wrong order. Why is that? Let's reduce this. Let's go to like 50. Ah, I know why. I'm so stupid. Okay. Ah, stupid. Ah, I'm so stupid. Okay, check this out. Everything was fine. It makes perfect sense to block the loading while it's already loading so that it doesn't load in all at once, stuff like that. That's fine. But I keep incrementing it, the page index, with every call to the method, regardless of whether or not it actually loads the blog posts. So yeah, obviously that's dumb and that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, stupid. What I can do here to alleviate that is simply here, if it's already loading, I'm going to simply decrease the page index again. Or since let's just initialize it with 1, not pass anything here, use the page index here instead, and then only increment it after successfully loading the posts. There. Done. So now it should work. That was stupid. Go back here. Okay, so May 16th. So the first 3 will always be in the correct order. That's obvious. There we go. There's still something wrong with the layout here. I don't get it. But we'll have to look into that later. But something is still wrong. Why? Because I'm still incrementing the page index here. Oh my. What's wrong with me? I should get some sleep. Looks good. Looks good. Yes. Oh yeah, I remember that. At some point I was working on a Unity editor extension for creating tiled maps back when tiled maps were not natively supported by Unity, which I've found really annoying. So I created my own extension for the Unity editor. And it was actually quite cool, but I never finished it. I never 100% finished the development, unfortunately. But yeah, it seems to be working now. But here, actually, I only want to increment here if posts. So if there are no posts, if nothing is loaded, then we don't need to increment the page index. Just double check that I didn't break it, but I don't think so. Yeah, seems to be still working. But here, I think it's the YouTube video here that kind of messes up the layout here. I don't know what's going on there. But aside from that, everything looks fine. Yeah, so now as soon as it realizes that there are no more posts, it won't try. It won't actually increment the page index anymore. And actually I could like set a flag that it's done loading, so it doesn't need to even try anymore. But I guess that's okay. Okay, great. So it's working. I don't know what this is with the issues here with the cross-site cookie. But I'm going to ignore that for now. Okay, great. But we still need to do one thing. Here, let me just go back once more. Before I changed this to load dynamically, I had the date properly formatted, but now it's obviously just formatted the way it is after the deserializing the JSON. So I need to reformat that. Let's see. How could I do that? Oh yeah. Hold on. Let's go date parse. ToString. So with the parse method of date, I can actually convert this string to an actual date. And now I can format this date with a format object. There it is. Locale. That should be en. Then options in form of a JSON object. JavaScript datetime format. I need to check. There it is. It's just enus. I don't need to. Then I can just say date format, publish date. Yeah, that's better. But I also want the time. So I guess I do have to pass in the options here. But I don't know the properties of the options. So I have to look that up here in the documentation. That's not it. There. Options. Locale matcher, time zone, hour. Okay, I can just say hour numeric, minute numeric, second numeric. There. And hopefully that does the trick. Uncaught syntax error. Why is there a syntax error? Oh, whoops. Okay. Why is there no... Why isn't it as simple as it is in, like, literally every other language, where you can just pass a date format as a string? Yes, this is what I want here. But I do want the 12-hour time. So let's just copy this. True. And then I don't need this. Yep. There we go. Okay, great. So let's go into the CSS here. Oh, no, first of all, blog post. So I'm going to style this a little bit. So now there should be a small distance between each of the posts. There, perfect. Why is this overflowing? Let me check this here. Oh, where is it? There. There, this shouldn't be overflowing. Just an image. Oh, but it's an image within a link. Let me try something here. Nope. Why do the images overflow? I specifically set the images to maximum width 99% so they wouldn't overflow. But I guess it's because the image is embedded in a element, so a link. Doesn't make sense for links. Doesn't affect anything. I don't know what's going on. Nope. Oof. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, this has a specified width here, which is the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. If data shortcode caption ID attachment. I guess I can just set the maximum width of any element within a blog post to set the maximum width to 99%. Hold on. Well, I guess I can just go div and just say important, just to make sure that it's actually applied. And I think this should fix the problem. Where is it? There. No, it didn't fix it. Why? Oh, because it's not actually. Oh, yeah. Stupid. Yeah. I chose the selector here that only selects the direct children, but it's not actually a direct child, so. Yeah, now. Okay, great. But there's still something going on here, and I don't know what exactly. What's this? Hmm. That's strange. Obviously, this is supposed to be in here. I will watch this stream, but it is midnight in India, going to sleep. I will watch the stream, but it is midnight in India, going to sleep. Yeah, well then, sleep well. Thanks for joining. And hope to see you around next time. Yeah, obviously this image here is supposed to be in this gallery here on the right side, but for some reason it's not. Maybe on the WordPress side it uses some JavaScript that is simply not embedded here. Now I gotta think of a way to fix this. Could it be? Hold on. Let's actually set this to 100 instead of 99. Because I'm thinking that maybe it might be overflowing by 1 pixel. Nope. Why is that? See, this is why I hate CSS and HTML. I mean, I could ignore it for now and just work on something else. But it really bothers me. I mean, how does that make sense? It's a gallery row. And then there is a gallery group. That for some reason has a huge margin. Why is this? I mean, this way I can at least have them be side by side, but still doesn't seem like a good solution. So the problem occurs when there's a gallery. Tiled gallery. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disable the fixed width of the gallery row class, and I'm also going to set all of the images within a div of that class to be rendered as inline blocks. So let's see, blog post gallery row with auto important, say blog post gallery row image display inline block. I guess this should fix it, but it's not a very pretty solution because yeah, it's quite hacky and it might break on other occasions. I think it's because there might be some JavaScript on the WordPress side actually embedded that I'm missing here, that is actually positioning the images in the gallery. It didn't help. Is this? Nope. Oh, wait. It's actually not an image. It's just gallery group. Yes, okay, good. So it's not pretty, but at least it doesn't look like it's completely messed up, so it's fine. And I can actually click them. Doesn't really seem to work here on WordPress, but I guess it's a WordPress problem. Oh, there it is, okay. Okay, so it does work. It's not a very pretty solution, but at least it doesn't look like it's completely broken. So okay. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, that's working now. It took way longer than it should have. But yeah, what can you do? Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day now and stop the stream. Actually, I'm quite tired. I just want to sit back and play some video games for another hour or something and then just go to bed. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you, even though it was kind of a slow stream today, I hope you still enjoyed it. And I hope you join me next time. I don't know when I will be streaming next time. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. I'm probably going to do it pretty spontaneously. I don't know. But thanks everybody for tuning in and hanging out, and see you next time. Bye.